You guys, could you imagine if I had kids with Paris Hilton, how many hotels I have now? You get what I'm saying? Think about that. Think about that. The Hilton. You know, the Hilton. Because I think y'all staying in the Hilton right now.
I'll never forget Kanye, not to just be on dissing Kanye, but I remember he came in to visit me and Dr. Dre, and we're in the studio in the middle of making beats, and we were like kind of interrupted, but we were like, all right, cool, whatever. And he's like, I need to take a picture with you guys. So we took a picture with him. It was cool. He left the building, went to drove somewhere, came back and said, my outfit wasn't right. Let me take another picture. And said, and it's like, me and Dre looked together like. He stormed out of the studio one time later, I was told, I wasn't there, with Dre, and he called him the devil. He's like, you're the devil, and he ran out like.
Kanye called Dre the devil?
Yeah.
What prompted that?
I don't know, making devil music for me or something. I guess he was on his holy kick at that point.
Kanye West just sent shockwaves through the internet again, dropping a jaw-dropping hint about his ex-wife Kim Kardashian and her former best friend Paris Hilton. He didn't hold back, suggesting the two might have been mixed up in something way more secret than anyone ever knew. And the craziest part? Whispers are flying about a private video that was supposedly filmed inside a well-known celebrity mansion. People are losing it online. Some say Kanye's stirring up old Hollywood tea, while others think he's finally exposing something real. This isn't the first time wild rumors about Kim and Paris have floated around. But things took a dramatic twist when producer Scott Storch decided to speak up. He wasn't just making noise, he gave details, talking about how the early 2000s party scene was filled with big names doing wild things behind velvet ropes. And what he said? It matched Kanye's version of events just a little too well. Scott explained that back then he was living it up on Indian Creek Island, a spot so private only the ultra-elite could breathe there. Around that same time, Paris Hilton came into his life. At first, she was all about music, but soon sparks started flying. Their connection got deep fast, and through her, Scott got pulled into a whole new level of fame, excess, and temptation that he had never seen before. It was like stepping into another world, and that world changed everything.
And I sold it like a couple years later to move closer to disaster, which was, I was safe in Bal Harbor, and then I moved to Palm Island, and that's where all of happened. So yeah, Paris came to work with me. We ended up dating and had a relationship. And
Scott said Paris opened the door to a whole new world. The flashing cameras, wild parties, and non-stop paparazzi chaos. Suddenly, he wasn't just a studio guy. He was on Us Weekly, caught by TMZ, and living that overexposed celebrity life. She didn't just show him fame, she threw him into it. Before all that, Scott was quiet and focused, locked in the studio and keeping to himself. He already had the money and cars, but fame wasn't his comfort zone. He admitted he used to feel anxious, like he didn't belong in that flashy scene at all.
She introduced me to paparazzi's nightlife, being the man, Us Weekly, fucking, TMZ, this whole party life and wild that I never experienced before, because I was in the studio night and day. I was rich, I had every car you can imagine, but they only went from the house to the studio and back. Friends would come over and they would go to the club and then they would come back after, and I would ask them how it was. I think I was nervous to even be cool at that point. And then.
But once Paris stepped into his life, everything changed overnight. Scott said that was the exact moment things started to spiral. He got swept up in the chaos and fully admitted it was a wild phase where he wasn't himself anymore. The lights, the cameras, the non-stop rush of Hollywood, it pulled him in fast. Soon, he was surrounded by people who carried that fake superiority, the kind who act untouchable and look down on everyone else. He refused to drop names, saying it'd be too disrespectful, but the meaning was loud and clear. Scott said those circles stripped away the real him, turning a grounded, soulful artist into someone chasing validation and attention instead of music and peace.
I got so caught up in that, and it changed who I was. I was hanging out with people that are just not good, people that think they're better than others. I don't want to call out names, whatever, it's too insulting, but just Hollywood douchebags. And like, you know, you are what you hang out with, and it changed me from being this like innocent, like soulful, like, you know, organic person to like this quest for fame and this quest to like I wasn't even like really that sprung on Paris.
Then came Kim Kardashian. Back when she was barely known, just Paris Hilton's closet organizer trying to find her way into the scene. But Scott dropped a detail that shocked everyone. He said Kim actually used to stay in his guest room. That one line changed everything because it placed her right in the middle of that wild early 2000s lifestyle. Nobody expected Kim to be living under his roof while all that madness was going down.
Story that came out, a video that was shown saying back in the days when Kim K was Paris Hilton's assistant.
Yeah.
Was it true? Was Kim K Paris's assistant?
Yeah, she used to sleep in my guest room.
That part alone turned heads. But what really grabbed attention was what came next. Scott hinted that something changed between them, though he didn't spill the full story. Whatever went down, it was enough to move Kim out of the guest room and straight into the master bedroom. He kept it vague, but the shift spoke volumes. Fans couldn't help but read between the lines. Something big clearly happened, and the silence around it made it even louder.
And then some weird happened. I'm not gonna say what happened, but and then she made it to the master bedroom.
Eventually, Paris found out. But by that point, things between her and Scott were already falling apart. The relationship had burned out, and that's when Kim slipped right into the picture. Scott described it as commiserating, saying they were both down bad at the time, broken, lost, and trying to escape their own drama. Somewhere in all that chaos, they clicked, and what started as two people venting about their problems turned into something way deeper than either of them expected.
Paris found out, or?
No, it was just like she and I were done, and like, I think we were both like had it, and we were like commiserating. What did he say? Karen's, she's commiserating at the house from Goodfellas.
Scott still gave Kim her props. He said she was real, ambitious, and hungry to make a name for herself. She wasn't lazy about it either. She studied how the game worked and played it smart. According to him, Kim was determined to turn her connections into a brand no matter what it took. He even said she followed Paris's blueprint almost step by step, especially when it came to the international spotlight. There was a playbook back then, and Kim mastered it like a pro.
Super cool girl.
Kim was awesome.
Yeah, like
what was awesome about her?
She was organic, and she was just like, you know, eager to like, she wanted to like build her career up. She kind of followed Paris's blueprint with the foreign tag after whatever, but at that time she was just a cool kid.
Then Scott brought up the Bugatti, and things instantly took a wild turn. He remembered rolling up to the Washington Avenue mansion in that car, flexing hard, with Kim chilling in the passenger seat like it was nothing. But here's the crazy part. Scott said everyone's eyes were glued to him, not even realizing who was sitting right beside him. That was Kim K, he said, and nobody even clocked it back then.
I got a video, dog. A picture.
$1 billion Bugatti.
Oh, shit. That's good. That's Scott Storch? Yeah, that's Scott Storch, yo.
Oh, snap. Who the hell is Scott Storch?
Yo, he's a dude that make all the beats and shit, yo.
Oh, look at his car. Take a picture of his car, man.
That's Scott Storch, dog.
Man, look at his car, homie. Get the car.
Scott Storch.
Rolling right behind him was his second ride, a sleek Mercedes-Benz G63, handled by someone Scott simply called his guy. But here's where it got messy. Scott admitted that this same guy wasn't just a driver. According to him, that's the person who carried all his nose candy around wherever he went. It painted a wild picture of just how deep he was caught up in that fast, reckless lifestyle back then.
That's my car too, behind him. That was my driver that used to carry all my for me.
Mercedes Maybach, I think.
That was 62.
Scott didn't share that detail to brag. It was a raw peek into how wild that world really was. It showed how fast everything spun out of control and how fame, indulgence, and survival all started to blur together. It wasn't glam, it was chaos. And that's where Kanye's part hit different. He said that before marrying Kim, he already knew what he was signing up for. He'd heard about the tapes, Not just the one with Ray J, but several others. And even now, he's still fighting to keep them from ever leaking.
Kanye flew home last night, and he came back this morning. I want to show you guys what he got me. He got me all of his take back.
Oh, Kim.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
But recently, Kanye took things to another level, hopping on Twitch and letting everyone listen in as he went off again. This time, he aimed straight at Kim, holding nothing back. He reportedly said he wishes he'd had a baby with Paris Hilton instead of Kim Kardashian. And that one line broke the internet. Fans flooded social media, stunned that he'd actually say something that bold, and the comment instantly set off another storm of online chaos.
I should have had a baby with Paris Hilton over Kim Kardashian. You know, Kim was Paris Hilton's assistant.
What's going on with this? That is if I ever go to India outfit. Really?
I should have had a baby with Paris Hilton over Kim Kardashian.
But Kanye didn't stop there. He kept going, doubling down with even more shocking words. He said that if he'd had kids with Paris instead, he'd be sitting on an empire right now. The Hilton name, the hotels, the real estate, the generational wealth, all of it. He made it sound like he missed out on a golden ticket. But beneath the sarcasm, there was tension, like he was low-key regretting the choices that led him here. His tone shifted between bitterness and reflection, hinting at frustration more than arrogance. At one point, he even joked that he's not staying at a Hilton anymore, as if to highlight just how far his current life feels from the one he once imagined.
You guys, could you imagine if I had kids with Paris Hilton, how many hotels I have now? You get what I'm saying? Think about that. Think about that. The Hilton. You know, the Hilton. Because I think I'm staying in the Hilton right now.
But here's the catch. The Hilton family hasn't actually owned their hotel empire since way back in 2007. That's 5 whole years before Ye even got with Kim, and 6 before they welcomed their first kid. So his rant wasn't really about business or ownership. It was deeper than that. It was about the symbolism, about Ye looking back and realizing he got trapped in a world he never fully controlled. Now he's left dealing with that regret in real time, and the whole world's watching him unravel. And to make it worse, in that tense interview with Academics, he admitted he never even wanted to start a family with Kim after just 2 months of dating. But then he added that it wasn't his decision to make, saying it simply wasn't in God's plan. A confession that left fans both shocked and uneasy.
I didn't want to have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with her.
Around that time, rumors started spreading that Kim was quietly looking into legal moves to limit Kanye's access to their 4 kids. Not out of pure spite, but because people close to her claimed she was worried about how unpredictable he'd become. The tension between them was already high, and this just made things worse. Kanye, of course, caught wind of it and didn't stay silent. He fired back, saying the only real power Kim ever had over him was her ability to take his kids away. A line that cut deep and showed exactly where his pain still sits.
Kim's only power is to take my kids. I had a baby with a assistant, bro.
It sucks, you know, when someone doesn't see how different they are. You'll always, hope that you'll see a glimpse of them. And,
When you line it up with what Scott shared, everything starts clicking into place. He talked about how Kim moved fast, switching up her crowd and placing herself among real power players almost overnight. It wasn't luck, it was strategy. And to back that up, Scott shared a wild story that left everyone talking. He recalled a studio session with Dr. Dre when Kanye suddenly showed up while they were deep in work. Kanye walked in, asked for a quick photo, and left. But just when they thought it was over, he came back not long after, wearing a totally different outfit, just to retake that same photo. Dre and Scott exchanged looks, both confused, like, what's going on here? Then it got even stranger. Kanye reportedly stormed out later, calling Dre the devil. Scott said Dre was left completely stunned, unsure what just happened. Maybe Kanye felt something off spiritually with the music. Or maybe it was something much more personal boiling underneath.
I'll never forget Kanye, not to just be on dissing Kanye, but I remember he came in to visit me and Dr. Dre, and we're in the studio in the middle of making beats, and we were kind of interrupted, but we were like, all right, cool, whatever. And he's like, I need to take a picture with you guys. So we took a picture with him. It was cool. He left the building, went to drove somewhere, came back and said, my outfit wasn't right. Let me take another picture. And said, me and Dre looked together like, He stormed out of the studio one time later, I was told, I wasn't there, with Dre, and he called him the devil. He's like, "You're the devil," and he ran out like.
Kanye called Dre the devil?
Yeah. Yeah.
What prompted that?
I don't know. Making devil music for me or something. I guess he was on his holy kick at that point.
It felt like Kanye was barely holding himself together, like he suddenly realized everything around him had been fake from the start. Fans online went wild breaking it down, saying the bombs he dropped might actually be proof he's not lying, just holding back the darkest parts. One user even claimed he'd met the so-called witches of Hollywood, and that his life was never the same afterward. The comments were split, but one thing was clear. People felt like Kanye had seen something he could never unsee. So, what's your take on this? Is Kanye just venting, or is there truth behind his words? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm reading all your comments. Thanks a ton for watching Star Watch, where the real Hollywood stories never sleep. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. You don't want to miss what's next. Go check out our other videos. There's plenty more drama waiting. See you soon.